Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tonight. We have a super fun show planned for you this evening, but first, this morning, the producers of the Tamron Hall show made the decision to air a live interview with Sherry Pie.
It is our understanding that this interview was at the request of Sherry Pie's publicist. Over the past year, as you know, multiple people have come forward with credible claims that they were sexually abused by Sherry.
We find the choice to air such an interview without adequately consulting with the victims of Sherry's abuse to be inappropriate, insensitive, and irresponsible. If you are the victim of sexual assault, we encourage you to reach out to the National Sexual Assault Telephone Hotline at 800-656-HOPE.
That's the extent to which we'll be acknowledging Sherry's appearance from this morning. We stand with Sherry's victims and all victims of sexual abuse.
Good morning, good morning. Turn on the marquee lights. Good morning tonight. Good morning, good morning. Broadway is feeling bright. Good morning tonight. When the theaters shut their doors, we were so sad and blue. Now we're bringing back Broadway in our Tuesday night review. So good morning. We'll make you feel all right. Good morning tonight for you. Good morning tonight.
What a take.
Live from New York City, it's Good Morning Tonight.
A little bit later than we thought.
Well, you know.
Good morning. I'm Michael Hull.
And I'm Jackie Cox.
And welcome
to Good Morning Tonight.
It is 7 p.m., which means that if all were right in the world, now is the time that theater people would be springing from their beds, warming up their voices, their gifts, and getting ready to head down to the theater district for another night of the magic of live theater.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, we love theater here at the Broadway-Talk Live Network.
Sure do.
But theater is not happening because Broadway is still dark, and a lot of people, ourselves included, are still missing the razzle and dazzle of live theater. So we're here to say good morning and welcome to this morning show just for us nighttime people.
And I'm very excited about this morning show we've got planned.
We have a great morning show planned tonight. I already see backstage. I see our guests are already
TONY
here.
Award-Winner LENA Hall is in the house.
She's here.
She'll be joining us.
It's
Kyle Taylor Parker
is here. It's going to be a fabulous show.
Look
at these. Look at these fabulous.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness. What? My goodness. My drinks just taste so much more delicious through this Broadway Talk Live / Good Morning Tonight mug.
I'm thrilled.
I adore these.
It took us 26 episodes, but we finally
got
mugs.
A branded mug. You know, we did it. Now we've made it.
Well, Joe, we made it.
Well, yeah, we
have branded mugs.
We did it, Joe.
Listen, we've got these, and spoiler alert, stay tuned because you might be able to get one of these for yourself. Not yet, but soon.
If you want to find out, just make sure you're following us on Instagram at BWay-Talk-Live, and that's where we're going to be dropping all the deets of how you can get your very own Good Morning Tonight mug, and you can sip on it during the show, take a selfie with it, and we'll share it. Maybe we should do a selfie, like a Good Morning Tonight selfie contest.
Like put on cheers.
Like put on what you would wear if you were like in our like live studio audience. You know, this studio, we have room for an audience here, as you can tell by this very expansive, very real studio. And one day when it's safe to do so, we'll have a live studio.
Yeah, one of these days we can fit 6 people in here. It's gonna be great.
It's 6,000
behind us. Anyway.
Right. Well, it's right. The studio is very large behind us, very small.
You guys, I'm calling this episode. I didn't consult you on this, but since I made the title, I called this New Music Tuesdays.
New Music Tuesdays.
Yeah, both of our guests have exciting new music out and incredible voices.
Incredible voices.
When a theme presents itself, You just take it and you run with it.
Yeah, you can also contract it. New Muse Days.
New Muse Days here on Good Morning Tonight.
New Muse Days.
Workshop that.
We'll workshop that. And look, I know you guys are already in the comments talking about everything, and we appreciate you guys being here. I adore you all. I see you all in the comments right now. Oh yeah, they will be there. Hashtag New Music Tuesdays. We're starting the hashtag. I live for it. I live for it. I love that we're just getting it going. You know, and this year is all about doing the things that you can attempt to do. I think we've now been living through this for almost a year, Michael.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
We're still here.
We're still here.
Doing our show in a huge, legitimate television studio.
It's, and the boys back there have been working hard day and night to bring you our amazing guests.
Yep.
I don't know. Well, yeah, that's it. They're great. They're great over there. In this very...
We have to name them eventually.
I think one of them's name is Charlie.
Charlie. Think about that. How about that? Speaking of Charlie, it's going to be a great show tonight. We are chatting with two amazing stars of stage and screen and sound.
Ooh.
First up, we will be chatting with one of Broadway's Lolas themselves.
That's right.
Kyle Taylor Parker.
That's right.
And later this hour, we will be joined by the incomparable Lena Hall.
I'm so excited to talk to Lena. I'm like incredibly excited because I don't know if you guys know this, but like Hedwig is my origin drag story.
I did know this, but I wonder if our audience did.
I think
Jackie
they may
Cox
have known
started
this.
as a Hedwig.
I did.
Doing the thing.
I did.
And now Lena's done it as well.
She has.
Of course, the history-making actress to play both Yitzhak and Hedwig.
It was amazing.
On the tour.
It was amazing.
Wild.
But first, some of you may remember our very first guest, Kyle Taylor Parker, the Broadway star and now recording artist from his appearances in the televised Jesus Christ Superstar, Kinky Boots, Smokey Joe's Cafe, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Or you may also remember him from equally as important appearances
on
our Thursday night show here on Broadway-Talk Live, the 5:30 Quarantini, starring Dylan Bustamante and me, or from our Monday night show, MT Trivia, not starring me, but still a good show.
It's still a great show.
Well, tonight he is returning to Broadway-Talk Live Network to make his Good Morning Tonight performance debut and share all of the details on his newest album, Broadway Soul Volume 2.
Please welcome Kyle Taylor Parker.
Kyle Taylor Parker.
Good morning tonight.
Good morning tonight.
Ooh, that looks like a delicious morning drink. What are we having?
Good morning.
Oh, my secret juice.
Honey, the secret juice is what makes those vocals happen.
I was gonna say, can I have whatever he's drinking?
I need some. Michael and I have been listening nonstop to Broadway Soul Volumes 1 and 2. How the hell are you? What a year. You've done so much in this quarantine. You're putting us all to shame.
I know. I was going to say, most people have been sitting on their couches binging Netflix. You produced a whole album, and it is Broadway Soul Volume 2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's it going? How you feeling?
I feel amazing. I'm happy that it's out in the world. I'm a busybody, so I really couldn't help myself. So yeah, I've been recording for the year, and now it's out.
It is out there. Okay, and if for the kids who are watching, they're like in the comments right now, but for the kids who are watching who remember, I guest hosted a different show on this very network, the 5:30 Quarantini with you, and that was the day that you were the guest. And you know what? People give me a lot of crap, but I'm a hustler.
You are a hustler.
And I hustled my way onto this very album.
Yeah, I believe we had you on the show to announce, the Kickstarter, to announce that you were going to make the album.
Yep.
Jackie Cox sweet-talked her way right onto that roster, right alongside Blaine Krause, Shoshana Bean. Natalie Joy Johnson.
Wow.
And Kyle Taylor Parker. What a lineup when you were putting this album together. And I want to ask you a little bit about kind of the origin of the album and what the storytelling is. But first things first, because I just dropped a lot of names just now. Did you know that this was kind of your cast, who you wanted? Did you kind of trip your way into it? How did this team of people come about?
I tripped my way into this entire album. I knew that I wanted to make a second album, and then the pandemic happened. And I was like, well, can't do that. Sat on the couch for a while, watched a lot of TV. And then I realized like the Broadway shutdown was really the impetus for it. So like it started getting longer and longer. And I was thinking the world's going to need some kind of Broadway. And so then I started working on the album, and it was a small idea that got bigger every single day. Actually, I've been streaming a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was a huge, I don't super fan too often, Oprah Winfrey, Jackie Cox. When I got on the call and I saw that you were the host, I was panicking. I was like, oh my goodness. You were like a superstar to me because you helped me get through pandemic essentially.
Well, so and the kids know I'm also a very tough interviewer and serious journalist.
Very intimidating. She's the muscle, and I'm just here to look pretty.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have laughed so hard at that.
Hey, when you said,
teaser for later, kids. Teaser for later.
Anywho, so Broadway Soul Volume 1, soul, funk, pop takes on some amazing classic Broadway numbers. Broadway Soul Volume 2 seems to continue that thread, that I'm so starstruck. That trend, with a little bit of a amped up storytelling aspect.
It's like a concept album.
What was the idea? How did it come together? Tell us some more.
Yeah, for sure. So it is a 12-track concept album. I wanted to improve on what I did with the first album, which is the genre. And then I wanted to give the listener some kind of theater. So the packaging for the CD and the vinyl and even the digital booklet looks like a cast album. I worked with Elizabeth Frankel to put together a story, taking all these Broadway songs, kind of like a jukebox musical, that you can read while you listen to the album. I used to do this as a kid. Like, I'm the biggest theater nerd, but I also love soul. So I started like that, and then I just started asking friends, hey, would you be on this? What are you doing right now? Can we make this in pandemic? And they said yes. And then I picked the songs based on that.
The answer was, I'm not doing much, so sign me up.
Well, and I think what's cool about this album, and when you and I started talking about it, is you had this idea. The song it's perfect for this time of year. You know, we're just coming off Valentine's Day, and I know people are in their feelings. This has been such a tough year. I know for people emotionally, but also in the sense of emotionally connecting to other people. And what I love about this album is we really explore this idea of love and this missing of love and connection that so many of us have. So this album kind of works on its own just as a musical moment, but I love that it's also talking a little bit about something that all of us are experiencing in real time right now, which is that we're missing a lot of this connection. You know, when your version of Love for Sale, feat Jackie Cox NYC, it really kind of dives into this idea of like, you know, that song works on a lot of different levels, but it also just talks about how, you know, love is something we're all missing so much, and you want to give it, you want to have it. And I'd love to hear more about that part of the album, and just kind of more like where you see maybe the future of Broadway Soul Volumes 1 and 2. What is the future? What is the past? What is everything? Tell us all.
Absolutely. So I think the future of it, people are really enjoying the second album. It was this huge collaboration at a time where we were not supposed to be collaborating, I think. So now people want to see us all together in person. Hopefully that can happen safely. But this project has proven that there are ways. So I'm working on some kind of concert of it. But
you heard it here first, kids. The kids are like already like going finding somewhere to buy tickets right now.
I hope it's going to be fabulous. The best is every single person brought something so incredible to the album. And I think that as humans, we're our best when we connect. And I think it's just who we are. And it's definitely who I am. And I think that comes through in the project.
I think it sure does. And I you know, it's so beautiful the way that you're wanting to connect kind of shines through this album. Speaking of connection, I know we touched on this briefly, but this whole thing was made during a Broadway shutdown, a global pandemic, and for the most part, an inability to be together in person. Yeah. What was it like? Because Broadway Soul Volume 1, you produced the traditional way. Yes, you went to a studio, you met with your artists, you went through what a normal record producer, record artist goes through. What was it like coming back to add on to this Broadway Soul legacy that you had begun, but now have to reframe it in a pandemic world and in a way where everything was done remote, and you kind of had to be able to connect with other artists, but without them actually right there with you? Were there challenges? Did you find any exciting rewards in that? What was it like?
Yeah. YouTube is my best friend. I had to learn how to engineer on my own. I had to learn a lot of things on my own. But I would say there were so many gifts, the gift of patience and trust. So as far as all of my duets, essentially, I would have the other person record their part first. So they had complete freedom to really build. And then when I got it, I would sit with their vocal for about a week and then decide what the harmonies were based on them, as opposed to really muscling my way in. Also, the freedom of recording without thinking about a time schedule. Like when you rent a studio, you're panicking about like, will I get it all done? Here, I mean, my first album I made in 3 days. This one took 8 months to record because there were some sound challenges, and I recorded it in my closet. Our producers made it sound stunning, but it was a journey. I'm taller than my closet, like the rack. So some of the songs I recorded like that. Some I'm singing so loudly I had to like climb into the corner of my closet. Listen, I will never go back into the closet.
Honey,
except for to make an album.
Honey, atta girl.
Volume 3, back in the closet. Well, and I think so for the kids who don't know, Michael helped me with some of my I won't say vocals, but I featured in some fun ways on the album. And what was fun, Kyle, is you actually you said, Jackie, you want to write a verse, you want to go for it, and I was like, okay, let's try this. And I think that's kind of what you're speaking is so like the truth of our experiences. You're able to kind of let us play in this moment as well, and actually try new things that maybe we're not used to. And for the kids who are watching, you are all dying to listen to this album. So after this episode, I want you all to go to wherever you get your music. But if you want to give Kyle Taylor Parker the most money you possibly can, go purchase this album on iTunes. Actually give him your dollars, or go to broadwayrecords.com/BSV2 to join in the fun. And while you're there, also, make sure you download Volume 1 as well.
Yes. Oops. Did I just double click that? I did not.
And I want to shine a light on Jackie for a moment, because your voice on the album is one of my favorite things. First, the verse is so clever that you wrote all by your, it's incredible, and it's so smart, it's so clever, especially once you read it with the story. I'm in love with it. But also, we've added such character to the character of your voice already, and it's like this great spine on the album, and I'm so grateful for it.
Thank you. It was so much fun to do. I mean, I was a little intimidated knowing I was going to be, my little voice would be next to so many amazing Broadway talent. Speaking of, I had this question as Michael and I were getting ready, and I was literally, trying to paint my face and get all this ready. When you were Lola on Broadway, how many times do you get in and out of drag? And does that feel like madness?
Absolutely feels like madness. And it's kind of like NASCAR, though, because there's so many people helping you do it. So you just stand still, and then you walk onto the stage for the next thing. And it's kind of a cheat.
Put a sports reference in a drag reference.
Yeah.
That was layered.
Start your engines and may the best team win. Oh my goodness. Well, and for those who miss Broadway, Kyle, I know you'll be back on the great way, as I now call it, as soon as it is reopening. But until then, I'm so thrilled that you've been sharing your art, your gift, your joy, your talents, your time with all of us, and kind of giving us some hope, giving us things to start looking forward to. I'm curious and hopeful as this summer some outdoor things happen, if there's possibilities for this album to be an outdoor concert, socially distanced. I don't know. I'm putting it out there. If there's producers, I know that big producers watch this.
Yep, they do.
They watch this a lot.
You'd love to call them out.
I just want them to know that I know that they're watching and that they should produce this person. Oh, I pointed the right way. This person's live outdoor socially distanced concert of Broadway Soul Volume 2 this summer, coming to a New York outdoor space near you.
Let's do it.
Kyle Taylor Parker, we adore you so much. We talked a little bit about connection, about the importance of love, about finding hope in a challenging time. When people sit down and go to get Broadway Soul Volume 2, is there anything else you want them to know before they hit play on this remarkable album?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I'm a hard-hitting journalist.
Yeah.
That was a really good question. So what do I want them to know before they hit play?
These are like the liner notes. These are the
Yeah,
live
for
liner
sure.
notes from the man himself.
I think the thing that inspired me the most with this album is, it's cliche to say it, but I think this year we all learned it. Love is never gone. So I hope that this gives you an escape and a reminder that it's all around you.
I love that.
Oh, love is all around. My heart grew two sizes during this very segment.
Look at that.
Oh, what a
They
joy.
said it couldn't be done.
They said it could. Well, who said it couldn't?
They, capital T, they. Kyle Taylor Parker, we love you so much. Congratulations.
Love you.
It is just a remarkable undertaking. It's even more remarkable when you realize how much love went into this album. 8 months in a closet, singing in your house and mixing your own stuff. You are remarkable, and we're so happy you came to spend some time with us today.
Oh, good morning
Oh, thanks
tonight,
for
my
having me.
love. Cheers.
Good morning
Oh, love, love, love. And like we said, if you want to download this album, the best way to do that is to go on iTunes and give him all your cents, or go to broadwayrecords.com/BSV2.
Yes, this was an exclusive link sent over by Broadway Records, and apparently that's the tree. You can get everything, all things Kyle Taylor Parker, right at that URL. So go for it.
And definitely get also the t-shirts, the Pretty and Proud t-shirts, which
we
are
love.
so cute. And Pretty and Proud may factor into a musical performance.
Jackie Cox.
I don't want to give things away.
A queen of
but
teasers
I had to give.
on this Tuesday.
If you stay tuned to the end, you may want to get one of those Pretty and Proud t-shirts.
You may.
Maybe you won't.
Maybe you won't.
Maybe you
Probably
won't.
will. We love Kyle Taylor Parker.
We do.
What a star.
We do.
What a talent. And guess what?
Our next one. Oh my God, I'm
The
so
talent
excited.
just keeps coming, you guys.
I'm very excited. Our next guest is a Tony Award-winning actress, a talented singer-songwriter, a Grammy-nominated recording artist, and just way cooler than we will ever be.
It's true.
She's very cool.
Her stage credits are far too many to count, but among them, originating the role of Nicola in the Broadway production of Kinky Boots,
Yes.
and of course, her transformative performance as Yitzhak in Hedwig and the Angry Inch on Broadway.
Yes.
She also went on to make herstory in the national tour of that production when she became the first woman to play both Hedwig and Yitzhak.
That's right. You'll also recognize her from her many film and television appearances. Die-hard fans will remember her from the reality TV series Legally Blonde, The Search for Elle Woods. I, of course, also know her from My Little Pony and Snowpiercer, where she's incredible. And she just released new music, plus she has a virtual concert coming up that we can't wait to hear about. Please welcome to the show, Lena Hall.
Hi!
Morning.
Oh, you're
tonight.
joining us from the library.
Yes, I'm in my giant library and
I love it.
stuck in Vancouver.
Good morning. Good morning. Where
Good
in the
night.
world? Where is this library? Where are you joining us from this evening?
I am in Vancouver. I'm actually in isolation quarantine right now. I just started, so I'm on day 3. So this is really nice for me because I need to talk to people.
Join us. And literally next Tuesday, come back. Just whenever you
You're
want.
still in
All right.
isolation.
Just come back.
Oh, but who else
Yeah.
did we? Oh, it was a different show on this channel, but we interviewed Kate Rockwell, who was also in isolation because she was getting ready to film something, and she was like, "Hello, how are you?"
So are they like? Is there someone comes with like a tray of food and then knocks on your door, and then like you open the door and they shove it in, and then they close the door and tape it back up? Like how is it going?
I mean, I wish I had that much interaction with someone, but it's just me in this apartment. Although I have a beautiful view of the beach. I'm down in an area called White Rock, which is close to Vancouver, but it's south. So I'm right at the border, and the beach here is gorgeous, and I just love it so much. So at least I see the beach, and I mean it's actually a little depressing because all I want to do is walk on the beach, but I can't.
Not yet.
Do you have do the windows at least open so you can like breathe in the air and then
breathe it into your room.
Breathe it into your room.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
What a time to be alive, 2021, man! I can't believe this is what we're still doing.
Are you allowed to tell us what you're quarantining for, or is this top secret?
Oh no, I'm quarantining for season 3 of Snowpiercer. So
work.
Yeah.
So the only spoiler is that you survived season 2.
Maybe.
Oh,
But maybe, could be flashbacks. You never know. You really never know.
No, okay, so I actually just recently started watching Snowpiercer, and then they get to this nightclub, and there you are, and I'm gonna go ahead and say like, it's almost like a Marlene Dietrich kind of drag. It's gorgeous and it's like stunning, and we hear your voice so beautifully and sensitively. And I was wondering, as I was listening to your new single, did some of that kind of inspire this new sound, this new music that's coming that people can download right now if they go to Lena Hall on iTunes?
Oh yeah. So the song that I released just recently, it's actually going to premiere in season 2, episode 5. What happened? Gosh. Yeah, what happened was the Snowpiercer.
So I was right.
You were right. Yeah, you were absolutely 100% right. The Snowpiercer people were like, we love her music, so they gave me an entire episode where it's just my voice the whole episode, and they licensed a bunch of my covers that are actually already available from either from the Obsessed series or from the Strip series, or there's so many series, but they licensed some of those, and then they wanted an original song, and I hadn't done any original music since like I was with my band back in the day called The Deafening, which is no longer, but we're like hard rock, like classic rock, like screaming craziness, headbanging.
I warned you all that Lena Hall was cooler than us.
Very much cooler than us. I think the one and only time I've ever sang anything close to rock music was when I did Hedwig and the Angry Inch. But wait, so then the producers contacted you and they were like, "Can we make money off of you?" And
No, what's so great is that they were like, "Do you have any original music?" And so I sent them a bunch of these demos from a project that I had been working on back in the day that then since lost steam, and they absolutely loved the music because it was kind of spot on. It's a lot darker, more like lullaby-y, some more romantic, more along the lines, less hard rock, classic rock. And so they picked one and they asked me to finish the song, and basically they licensed the song for me so I could release it on my own, and which is what I did this Monday. But they wanted one thing, and that they wanted it to be done in French.
We noticed.
Oui, bien sûr.
Oui, baguette. So this is the track. It's meant for this. And in case you were wondering, it says French version right there. So as to not lead anyone down.
Will there be an English version?
Yes, there will be an English version. And see, I did this all myself. And for some reason, I didn't catch the graphic designer missed that version is spelled wrong.
Oh
no way. Hold on. What about
French version. And
I feel like we're breaking news all over.
Breaking news. Hit the button. Hit the button.
Breaking news. Lena Hall's new single, meant for this, French version.
French version.
Available wherever you get your music.
French version. It's the version, and I love it so much. And
Oh my God, literally. I can't wait for Nikki Doll now to do you if she ever goes back on Do Snatch Game and just be like, "I'm Lena Hall. This is what I sound like.
A fake French girl.
I love it.
But
I am obsessed with that. I literally never would have noticed, but kudos to you for just calling it out, getting ahead of the curve, and being like, by the way, it's misspelled. I'm aware.
It's 2021. We let these things go, darling. We can't. There's so much actual bad things happening in the world. A new word is not one of them.
But
French
so you made French Versailles. You made the French Versailles during this pandemic time, and you recorded it on your own, and that's amazing.
Wait, I have a really hard-hitting question. It's not that hard-hitting. Okay, so on Snowpiercer, and if the kids, I don't know if you guys watch Snowpiercer, let me know in the comments. If you don't, go watch it. It's about this train that's circling the entire world because the world is dead. And the train moving is the only thing keeping everyone on the train hot enough, because outside it's like negative 100 degrees. And if you go outside the train, you die. So in this train, it's a 100-car train. Am I right? 1,000-car train? Something. Really
a little bigger than 100 cars.
It's a very long train. But one of the train cars is a nightclub.
Correct.
And Lena's character is like the head nightly player, the top build at this nightclub.
Honey, I'm like, if the only famous chanteuse that survived the apocalypse is Cher.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I am the Cher of the train.
You're like if Cher was the only character in Burlesque.
Correct.
Like the rest of them weren't there, and it's just Cher. But instead it's not Cher, it's Lena Hall. Okay, so my question, this is the hard-hitting journalism. So because everything happens on this train, everything appears to us as the viewer is happening in these narrow spaces. But my mind is like, how do we get some of these cool angles? Like, do the walls move and then you get cameras in other places? Or does it actually feel claustrophobic on set? Give us the secrets.
It is pretty claustrophobic on set. All of those set pieces are built and they're all in the studio, and they get moved around a lot, and you get lost actually because the lot is huge, and then you have all these tiny little sets everywhere, and it's just like, where am I? But I'm lucky enough to spend most of my time in the night car, which is a much more glamorous and much broader set. And not only that, I get the best costumes in the entire show. So there is a theory that, and we joke about this all the time, is that Miss Audrey has her own car that's just her wardrobe.
That's like when you're on a like when you get that cruise ship contract, but you're like the star cruise ship person. You get your own cabin and you have all your stuff.
I would love that. Only maybe not on a cruise, because
I love a cruise.
Because sad cruises, sad. Yeah. I mean, right now cruises are sad. It's sad.
Right now it's sad.
Cruises are not cruises.
No, they're not. But they'll be back. And
they'll be back.
Oh my God. Someone's going to organize a Snowpiercer cruise. I see it happening. You know me. I always have the vision. And that I feel like it's going to happen. But enough about Snowpiercer, because I only have however many minutes long left in the show. And we have to talk about Hedwig and the Angry Inch. We have to talk about it. So, Lena, I don't know if you know this, but that was my actual entry into drag. I did a tiny little production in 2009. It was my first time performing in drag on stage. Completely changed my life. How has the show, and you doing it on Broadway, you leading the national tour, how has that show affected you?
It affected me most profoundly. I saw it when I was 19. I saw it at the Jane Street Theater with my sister, and we cried our eyes out at the end. I mean, I've never been moved by a production that much ever, to a point where we were ugly crying in the front row, and like so I got the cast album, which was it's like the original John Cameron Mitchell album. There's a bunch of them. There's that one, and then there's the movie one, and now there's the Broadway one, and then there's mine. And
that's right. Love that album, girl.
And so doing the show, when I heard that the show was coming to Broadway, I know the music so well, and I know the show so well that I just knew there was no one else there was no one else for the role. Like, this was mine. This had to be mine. Yeah. So I really went for it, and I brought all that rock and roll dirtiness to it, all that I've learned. I'm not just a theater girl, but I'm also that rock and roll girl. And when I booked the show, I went head first, and I really studied men as much as I possibly could, studied their mannerisms, studied their facial features, studied like the differences between female and male. And it gave me a much deeper appreciation between the two sexes, and the differences between the two sexes, and how we all emote very differently. And it was wild because I started to do drag outside the show, because I really loved embodying this kind of, well, he was very much of a sad man, he was in a sad situation, had his strength just ripped away from him by his wife. And and so, but outside of the show, I would go around, and I felt really powerful in this masculinity. And I think it really helped my my performing, my self-esteem and all that kind of stuff, to sit in a different person's skin, to sit in the opposite sex's skin and experience the world like that. I mean, nobody would recognize me. Everyone thought I was a man walking around town. And the only time they knew it was me is if I said something like, "I'm Lena," like. Yeah. But my drag name outside of Hedwig and the Angry Inch was Jameson Neat.
Ooh.
Oh, well, now I'm thirsty.
Yeah, Michael, the bar. Don't bring him anything.
There's a bar right over there.
There's also pretend people who work over there.
A bar and pretend people. A real bar, pretend people.
Okay, so that's so interesting you say that, because in the 11 years since this show entered my orbit, the conversations around gender and performance have really evolved as a society. And I think now, when I think about the show, when I think about what the show has meant for me, it also helped really me understand the idea of being gender expansive, pushing beyond what the suppositions of gender are. I think you see that in both the characters of Hedwig and Yitzhak, exploring their own terms of how they express themselves, both artistically, because there's a performative part of both of those characters who both want to be the star. And then there's a part of each character inside that also has an expression of something that's deeper inside of them that they're also trying to get out, which is this idea of a gender that's maybe a little bit different than whatever the binary is. And I think that was something that even now, 11 years later, for me, I'm still like learning more and rethinking about moments from the show, or moments, seeing you on the show was so powerful. That end moment where you're in full glamour goddess drag, incredible. Like, how cool to have both of those moments in one piece. And then I unfortunately was not able to see the tour where you were able to then flip the script entirely. How was that for you then to play something completely different? Like, where did you draw from to bring that to life?
I honestly, I drew a lot from Yitzhak. It was like Yitzhak getting his day. You know what I mean? Like,
so it was Yitzhak's part 2.
Yeah, it was like, it felt like, Hedwig couldn't do the show and he was the understudy. Like, that's how it felt to me. And,
wow.
But at the end of the day, I did a lot of gender research because I've been so fascinated by there's an incredible gender story within the show, and it is to say that you're whatever makes you feel complete. There is no, you can be somewhere in between, you can be one or the other, and that at the end of the show, it's very prevalent what the choice is or what the reality is. Some people are much more in between and or feel something else, and that, I think, is told. That's why anybody can play the role of Hedwig. Absolutely anyone. While I think I think that Yitzhak's, I think that Hedwig's kind of ambiguity as to what sex he, she, they are is what makes it such an incredible role and something that people relate to so deeply. Because it's almost like looking in a mirror. You can see yourself in this character. These bizarre circumstances that you would never think that you would relate to, and suddenly you're relating to it in a really strong way. And at the end of the show, you know, when Hedwig takes all of that stuff off and is suddenly then goes through the Tommynosis thing and then comes back as someone new. Yeah. Whoever that may be, that is up for interpretation. For the men, they would get down to their shorts. And then for me at the end, when I was Hedwig, I just had this overwhelming desire to strip away the binding that was binding me down. Mm-hmm. And so I stripped that away and I just exposed myself as this woman. You know, and there it is. That's who I am. I am strength. This is, you know, I found myself. And I think that the end of the show is so up for interpretation that it makes it a wonderful expression of whoever's playing that role to be able to express themselves in the most pure form at the very end of the show. And that is why Hedwig touches so deeply and also is, you know, the broad spectrum of the gender, whatever you may be.
I'm gonna
we would just rewind and watch it.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that again. Lena Hall, I mean, thank you for joining us. And for sharing this part, which I know, you know, it was a few years ago, but I mean, I'm so glad that we're able to like dive back in and be dorks and nerds together and talk about all these things.
And if you don't know, if you're watching and you don't know the story, go just Google Lena Hall. Because I know you've told the story a few times, but she has an incredible audition story for kind of just like being like, you know what? I'm doing this show. No one's going to tell me I'm not doing the show. And going in and just like knocking it out of the park and just claiming what she wanted. And it's just so inspiring.
I put the video that I did like a Kickstarter campaign for my audition and the video's up on my YouTube page.
I need to go look at that. I need to go look at that.
But it's a totally different like Yitzhak character than what we ended up, because it was what I knew from the film and what I had recognized before, kind of what I thought. And then as we went into rehearsal, the whole look changed. We got rid of facial hair. I did notice some things when I was working on Being a Man. There were certain things that I'd studied drag kings, and what made a drag king really feel like male to me, and what the giveaways were. And it was all about fake facial hair and small eyebrows. That was like the key that gave it away. And I thought, okay, so no facial hair. I'll be clean shaven, just a little shade or whatever, right? I mean, we do wonders with makeup.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. So you can contour your face and make it look any way you want. And, you know, I'd look at so I would just like square my face off and make sure that my jawline was highlighted, my cheekbone was highlighted, and just right here was super highlighted. Everything else was pretty shaded, and I had sideburns. And then I was like, all right, so women have very archy eyebrows and they express themselves through their eyebrows. They're thin, you know, and most men, especially, you know,
Butch Eastern European men.
Yeah, correct. Have short, straight eyebrows. And when expressed sadness or grief or something, they go like that. So just drawing an eyebrow thick, you know, to cover the feminine and having it just upward tilt a little bit in the middle was like, boom. That was I'm gonna send
this clip to Jan right after this. So she's been working on her boy brows, and I'm gonna be like, watch Lena Hall's tutorial on
That's terrible. I mean, physicality goes a long way too, but the facial, as far as face, what I found would give it away every time was that. So fake facial hair, there's always like a shine in there. It always doesn't look quite right. You know what I mean? And so it's like kind of a giveaway. And then you know, the eyebrow thing is really important.
Incredible.
Wait, okay, so then one last thing before we have
lots to do.
I have so many things to talk about.
I know.
Oh no, I don't want to go.
I'm like, okay, can we talk about My Little Pony? So there is a huge huge fandom of My Little Pony. I'm not going to lie.
Speaking of saying what you want and then just getting it.
You were just a fan, and then you were like, can I be a pony? And they made you the singer
She
pony.
wasn't just a fan. She was star of stage and screen and
Right,
many
but
things
you're
in a
you know,
hall.
it's like Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg called up Gene Roddenberry and she said, "Can I be on Star Trek?" And he said, "Is this a prank call?" And she had to keep calling, and finally she was on Star Trek. This is the same thing. You and Whoopi Goldberg have this in common. You just make shit happen.
Make shit happen.
I
I have to
love
say,
it.
we'll come back to My Little Pony in a second, but you've always been a make shit happen kind of gal. The first time I met you, and you're not going to remember this, I don't think,
I remember
was in
it.
the basement challenge. Was in the basement of Ha Comedy Club in like 2010, 11, when you were doing Chick 6. And I will never forget you walking around that comedy club with a clipboard, being like, "Will you come to my show? Great. What's your email address? Will you come to my show? Great. What's your email
Hustle.
address?" And you like single-handedly started packing the house with audience members because you were
That's
like,
the way
"We're
to do
out in
it.
Queens, but it's a great show. Will you come? Will you come?" And I think you like emailed me 2 days later and you were like, "Here's the link, blah, blah, blah. Let's set this up."
Hustler. I
Hustler.
admire the hustle.
Hustler Lena Hall.
I
I
admire
don't remember that.
Told you.
hustle.
Told you. All this to say, so yes, you secreted your way, not so secretly.
No, I didn't secret it. I said at the end of my Tony speech on national television, at the end of a Tony Award win, I had to sneak it in. I said, "Friendship is magic," and that was that.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship
I'm gonna
is
cheers
magic.
to that. My goodness. We didn't even cheers you yet, Lena Hall. Cheers,
Oh,
darling.
cheers.
Cheers.
Next time,
She's got a microphone.
when I'm back, I will have a coffee.
We'll have a
mug.
proper cocktail.
We'll send you a
Yes.
mug.
Oh,
There's a little
Dylan,
love for
Dylan
Chick
remembers
6.
Chick 6.
That's not how it's spelled,
stand
Dylan, but
for-
sure.
For Chick 6.
Yes, so
Michael.
speaking of this microphone in your hand,
Uh-huh.
we have so much to talk about. Speaking of this microphone in your hand, you have been very busy in this lockdown pandemic moment.
Mm-hmm.
You have another virtual concert coming up
I
that I
do.
want to ask you about. Tell us what to expect. I also have a little clip, but we'll play that in just a second.
Okay.
So we did the premiere of Snowpiercer, and of course we had to do it because it was in May last year, and of course everybody was in lockdown. So they asked me to perform, and I was like, "How?" And so they sent me. So they sent me this whole studio and a green screen, and they, basically they taught me how to use what I had in order to like perform to tracks live on Zoom. And that inspired me to do my own shows. So I used that knowledge, and I thought, well, it would be fun since I have a catalog of, like I can really just sing just anything. I should do song request shows. So I ended up doing these shows. I've been doing them since June of 2020. February will be one of my last ones for a while, just because I don't want to get kicked out of my Airbnb. And so I need to like make sure that it's okay, because I am loud. So
Ground it.
I mean, listen,
Ground it.
So basically people, they buy song request tickets or general admission tickets. The song requesters, they get to request songs for me to sing. I'll pick one of those songs. And then I talk to them after I sing the song, or maybe beforehand. So we have a little interaction, and
cute.
I sing their song. And really the themes, we theme the shows. The shows are all these different themes: musical theater, movie songs. I mean, really rock and roll, anything. Anything goes. And as long as I can find a track to the song, I will do it. And those have been really great. They've been a great time, user. And I've also like completely narrowed down my skills. I'm practically a jukebox at this point.
Honey.
And it's been fun to be able to connect to people. There's some people who are out there who haven't had a hug in, for so long. And just being able to talk to them and have a place to gather. And it's the same people over and over again. And they've formed friendships with each other. And it's become kind of a meeting place. And something fun to do and something for them to get their mind off of the crazy in the world, and just, you know, to get their mind off the crazy in the world, they come and watch me be insane. Yeah, and you know, the first time I did it, I was like, hello, like, you know, because you can't hear people clapping, right. You don't see them respond. You know, you're like, is anybody there? And it feels like you finish a song, you're like, hi.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, believe me, we are familiar. I know this looks very expensive and fancy, but at the end of the day, Jackie and I are sitting alone in an empty room in Midtown Manhattan.
With a piece of green fabric behind us.
So, yeah, we get it.
Same, honey.
Your next concert is just this Thursday. Are there still tickets available?
There's general admission tickets available. All the song request tickets go pretty fast.
Well, I imagine they would. I took a tumble down some of your social media today. I did a little stalking. And let me tell you, there are some real good ones out there. But let's take a look at a quick little clip from, I believe, your last concert. Here's a little performance teaser.
Scrounds!
Work.
Oh my God! Well, so you'll have two audience members who will just.
We'll clap. We'll just imagine Jackie and I clapping the whole time. I know you won't be able to hear us.
What time is the concert on Thursday? What time is it at?
It is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, I think I can go. I think I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna come watch a little. I'm gonna come sneak in.
Oh, you know what? I'll send you the link, boo.
Ooh.
Yeah, any chance to watch you perform is certainly worth taking. We adore you. Thank you for coming to spend some time with us tonight. This has been so much fun.
Yes.
This has been so much fun. You know, what is your website in case people just want everything? Or actually, they can go to your Instagram, which is
just
right
go to
below.
my Instagram. Yeah,
Right
Lena Rock at Lena Rocker Hall. I mean, it's all Lena Rocker Hall, isn't it?
Lena Rocker Hall. It is all Lena Rocker Hall. Lena, we love you. Good morning tonight. Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic!
Cheers! Cheers!
Oh my goodness. Lena Rocker Hall.
I'm forever changed. I got to nerd out with Lena about everything.
I did see some of the kids in the comments were like, Jackie's nerding out, Jackie's fangirling.
Jackie is having a fangirl moment.
That was fun to watch you fangirl.
Well, a little bit. Why not? Why not?
So we
have to watch Snowpiercer together.
Yes.
It's intense, but it's very fierce.
Did you bet that circus fire? It
was
intense.
There was a circus fire?
Yeah, it was intense. Intense. Well, if you had fun tonight, please do hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.
And don't miss an episode of Good Morning Tonight, airing Tuesdays. We are back in 2 weeks with an all-new episode with amazing guests. But until then, you can tune in this Thursday to the 5:30 Quarantini with Michael Hull and our darling Dylan Bustamante.
Our guest is the star of Cats 1 and 2, both Cats. Jessica Hendy is joining us. We're very excited about that.
And then Monday, MT Trivia is back with the MTs themselves, Christopher and Kevin Metzger-Timson at 9 p.m. with our darling Christy Altamere, reunited with her love from Anastasia, Beverly Hills, Derek Klena.
Oh, what? That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. And then
in
do
2
we just
weeks,
go for it?
Tell them.
Let's tell them.
In 2 weeks, we have a star-studded lineup. Patty Murin, Colin Donnell, Justin Guarini, and Drew Gasparini.
We will be pitching from Justin to Jackie.
From Justin
live.
to Jackie.
And Princess Anna's going to be here.
Princess Anna's going to be here.
What a time.
You know, I will tell you this, Michael. Despite everything that's happened this week and this year, this episode made me feel a certain way.
Did it?
And I think we should describe it in song. This next song is dedicated to our dear friend, Kyla Taylor Parker. Thank you for playing with us. Thank you for allowing Michael and I to bastardize your hit from Broadway Soul, Volume 1.
Yeah. If you find this tolerable, go check out Kyla
listen to the real version
on Spotify. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Good morning tonight.
feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and bright, and I pity any girl who isn't me tonight. I feel charming, oh so charming. It's alarming how charming I feel, and so pretty. I hardly believe that I'm a real. See that boy in the mirror there? Who could that boy be? Whoa. Such a pretty face. Look at how she's dressed. Such a pretty smile. Such a pretty me. Say it loud. I'm pretty, I'm proud. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Say it loud. I'm pretty, I'm proud. You better say it, yeah. Say it loud. I'm pretty, I'm proud. Oh yeah. Say it loud. I'm pretty, I'm proud. I feel oh so pretty. He's so pretty and witty and bright. And I pity any boy who isn't me tonight. Download Broadway Soul Volumes 1 and 2 wherever you get your music. Kyle Taylor Parker, we love you. See you next time.